Hey everybody, Tom Coyle from Adventures in Leadership. Your training program does not work. Why? Two reasons. It's viewed as punishment, and there's no follow-up or follow-through. So let's talk about the first one, punishment. When do we typically have training? Somebody screwed up. Somebody misused company funds, so now everybody has to sit through training on that. Somebody sexually harasses somebody, which should be dealt with swiftly and justly. However, everybody now has to sit through some kind of sexual harassment training. How much do you think that kills morale? You get a bunch of people, the vast majority of people that are doing the right thing, they have to sit through something because John Smith messed up. And what happens is every kind of training is now from that mindset. We're sitting in this training because somebody messed up. Oh, we're having leadership training? Who screwed up the leadership? Somebody must have had a hostile work environment. Somebody must have done something bad. So now we're all sitting through this. That's how it's viewed by your employees. So when you're actually trying to give them valuable training that they will benefit from, they're already coming from a mindset of being tuned out before they've even had a chance to tune in. So how do you fix that? My recommendation, when somebody messes up, do not go to the instinctive HR stance of let's give everybody the training. People know what to do. People should not need to be told not to sexually harass people, not misuse company funds, or whatever issue it is you're having training on. Instead, deal with the person involved, and then just send a message out if it makes you feel better. Send a message out to your employees, hey, we've had a couple incidences of people misusing funds. A reminder, here's the policy. Please respond acknowledging that you acknowledge our policy. Or some sexual harassment, any type of thing, just say, hey, we've had some incidents here, we do not tolerate this. Your response to this is your acknowledgement of company policy. And you don't waste the time of all the people doing the right thing who sit through the mass punishment. Which brings me to my next point, why your training program does not work. There's no follow-through. If you bring in, say, a leadership expert who say, I'm going to help improve your leadership, and they speak for an hour and everyone's going to be fired up, take great notes, and then what happens? Everyone closes their notebooks and they go back to doing everything they did before. Because to change behavior takes time. You have to have a plan to continuously grow this new skill. Let me ask you this. If you want to be a better soccer player, you just go to a soccer clinic for 1 hour and then I'm good. And don't go to any more soccer practices or soccer clinics? Of course not. If you want to be a musician, you just show up there, hey, I took a drum lesson once. Hey, I got to sit in there and have a drum lesson from Neil Peart from Rush. I'm good. I had my lesson from him. Don't need to practice anymore. No, you have to continuously practice. So any kind of leadership training, there has to be follow-through. And there's different ways to do this. You know, a company you can hire an outsider to provide the training, but have a follow-through plan. Either the person comes back or they simply say, hey, here's your plan you should be following for the next 6 months. However you arrange that, there needs to be a follow-through. There needs to be something you're implementing. Because to learn a new skill takes practice. And leadership in particular is something we can all work on. So that's it. So those are the two things. That's why your training does not work. So to make your training work, no mass punishment, and get out of that punishment mindset. In fact, one thing I want to say on that, when it's skill enhancing, let people know. I had something from my own coaching experience when they sent me a coaching student and they were saying, you're being punished. Well, basically, you're a screw up, and if you don't fix yourself, you might not be working here anymore. And there may be some truth to that. But if you want someone to fully embrace the training, you have to look at it from a more positive angle to make this a more productive session. Say, hey, you know what? We see potential in all of you, so we're going to give you some training that's going to enhance some skills to make you a truly valuable member of this organization. We see some raw talent here, and we are taking the time investing company funds to help grow you. After all, why would you spend money on somebody you don't see potential in? Which